All right, good morning, everybody. Happy, what is this, Friday, finally. We have a scrum call. Scrum call, or sometimes referred to as a stand-up, is a 15-minute daily meeting that you have with your team and your scrum master where you are going over what you did the prior day, giving project updates. You're supposed to be updating any tickets that you're currently working on, and then addressing any roadblocks if there are any. The hardest part of the scrum is updating tickets on a daily basis because they want you to give your clients, stakeholders, whomever submitted the ticket, daily updates. What are we talking about? Sometimes these updates can feel tedious or repetitive, especially where you're in the same place you were yesterday and you don't necessarily have any updates and you're still required to provide updates. And it's like, same as yesterday. I haven't gone through doing a full audit of like the dashboard. So I've been working and there was some issues with that. I didn't mention it because I'm just like, I don't want to bring up just another reporting issue, but I need to go and validate now that, so no, we can't send out any August yet until, I'd rather be overly cautious and say no, not, and instead of sending out. But I wouldn't even know what to compare it to see if it's right or wrong. Like, I just don't want that kind of problem, so I'd rather not. Okay, good morning, everybody, and happy Friday, if I haven't said it already. So we just had our scrum call, and we are here. That's all I can say. We are here. It is Friday. I'm ready to be off. Like, honestly, I'm over it. Like, there's been reporting issues that I've been bringing up all week and trying to get things fixed, and then it's like we have to provide a weekly update. The update, I do it on Mondays. So when I complete it on Mondays, it's for data through the previous week, right? Now you're asking me, can we get August? So that would have been data through the end of July because, last Friday was the first of the month. So it's like, can we get some August month to date data? And I'm like, are you guys like not listening to me when I tell you there's been so many reporting issues and data issues for August, even some July that had to be retroactively fixed? And then there's been yet another issue just brought up this morning. So I'm like, why would we want to put out it's just, in my opinion, and I don't want this to seem harsh, but it just seems like common sense says, no, don't put out wrong numbers just for the sake of trying to be like, well, other teams are putting out their August numbers. Well, are other teams' results wrong? I've been telling you, there's something wrong. I don't get it. And then being called out, I just want to take the rest of the day off, honestly. So I'm gonna continue to work on auditing and analyzing August results to see if I find any other issues with reporting, because that's why I've been finding so many issues, is going through and actually looking at the results, what is happening. So I've been using Jupyter Notebook. That's what I like to use for data analysis. I know there's some people who don't like it, but I do. At the moment, I like it. I'll say that. So what I'm doing is, for some of these columns in the data frame, it has some hidden spaces. You don't see the spaces, but it's in there because anytime I try to pull the columns and to pivot it from this table and whatnot to group results and things, it's giving me an error that a key error for the column name. And I'm like, that is the column name. It's spelled correctly. I copied it directly from the data frame. So there has to be some hidden or some spaces that I can't visually see from the data frame columns. So what I'm going to do is just strip those out. So I'm going in and adding a line of code to strip out the spaces either before or after. And then I'm going to try and run this piece again. And hopefully it runs. Okay, there we go. And actually, this data was corrected. I need to use the corrected data, actually. So I'm gonna have to rerun all of this. Do I have the corrected data? This was today is 8/8. It was fixed. The fix went in last night. So I need to grab the new data. Okay. All right, so I just need to do some cleanup. Oh my goodness, why is this happening? I'm trying to rename these columns so that it's you have to do it in like a dictionary format, where you're doing like you have to do what's called like a key value pair, where this is equal to this. I don't like that. Sometimes I like the autofill option, sometimes I don't. All right, let me see what the data frame looks like now to make sure. I don't want it to capture the total because it throws off the chart because it's skewed. Okay, I am taking a lunch break, sort of, kind of. I don't normally like take a lunch break. I normally either work through lunch. Even when I'm in the office, I don't take a lunch break. I work through lunch and I just leave early because I'm not taking a lunch break. I prefer it that way. But having lunch won't show it to you. It's just leftovers. I don't like unless it's just freshly prepared food. Like, I don't like when people show food on camera, so I'm not gonna do that to y'all. It's just leftovers. I'm still working on some code, and again, working on August results, checking to see if anything stands out as far as performance goes, and just trying to wrap up the day. I'm over it. I'm over today. I say that a lot because I am over it a lot, you know? Like, we were on this call, and I just don't, like, someone brought up a comment about something, and I had done some work on this previously, but I don't know that the work that's being done now, it has anything to do with what we did or what I did back last year. So it seems like they're trying to do something new, and I just don't put me on the spot with something like, you said something just to call my name out. I wasn't going to say anything about this. And you're like, oh, Nakya, why am I being called out? Because I don't think anything I did is related to this project. So now I got to talk about something that's probably not even related, but you just have to butt into the conversation, to say something, to seem important. It feels like, just to call me out. Like, I don't even think it had anything to do with us, but I just let them know, like, hey, this is what it's been almost a year, so granted, things could have changed in the table. I haven't looked at it since I worked on this code last year, so things may have changed, and it looks like they are trying to change it, which is a good thing. But what's happening is that, like, the way it's set up from the last time I used it, the data isn't capturing what they want or what they need it to capture in order to, for compensation purposes. So that's just something we have to change. And we probably just need another data point that we don't have or not receiving today. And at the end of this terrible day, guess who was yet right again on a data issue? Like, it's been months, and I'm like, there's just no way. So this issue with this specific metric and how it's being measured. Okay, you can have people do calculations differently and just be able to explain the differences. This other team that was sending people to us to explain it, and I'm like, we can't speak for you and how you're doing your metric calculation, and then your team won't share with us how they're doing the metric calculations. Like, how are you calculating performance? Like, if you're expecting us to be able to explain it, you need to tell us how you're calculating it. Otherwise, who can I send this employee to reach out to for assistance in understanding? Because I don't even understand. I've reached out to, I think it was whoever, the person who developed the code for their ThoughtSpot dashboard. I reached out to him to find out how it's being calculated, and he straight up was like, I can't share my code. You need to see the project manager. Totally get it. But the project manager, again, they don't be understanding what they asked for. They truly don't. I'm not going to say this is a blanket statement for all project managers, but a good majority of them, and at least at my company, they put in these requests to have reports or metrics or all these things built, and you go through this entire process of going through requirements, building documents, and all these different things to get dashboards and metrics and things set up, all for the project manager to know diddly squat about what they asked for. It's like I like knowledge, like I don't know what to just say, but like it just feels like understanding is at an all-time low. Like what is happening? Like people, it just feels like A, I care too much, and B, you care too little. Like it shouldn't be that way. Like I should not care more about this than you. That is who I am as a person though, so I don't know what to do about that, but I need people to care more about their stuff, okay? Or maybe it's just us in the data science, data analytics world. We're just like, we care too much for these other people to care so little about what's going on. It makes me upset. Like when you can't explain, like when I'm building something, I am going through it with people and I try to make sure that I am looking at it from this perspective. So we're all like, the only thing I was able to get out of their person that built it was that, hey, the only thing I was able to get out of them is to verify we're using the same tables, right? So when I look at it, I'm like, the only way they're getting to these numbers is if they're including this. And it's fine if they are including that in their metric calculation, but they need to say they are, and they won't confirm that they are. And the project owner or project manager doesn't know this to tell us. So after months and months of confusion, come to find out, because I'm looking at the table, I'm like, the only way this is true is this, because I tried to back into the code, and then while I'm trying to develop the code to match their results, because we're using the same tables in the database, my manager was like, stop, don't pursue it any further, because it got escalated. I'm like, okay. And then also they had me working on other stuff, which is fine. So I didn't pursue it, but I said, just looking at it and what I've developed so far, in order to get the numbers they have to be including this in their calculation, which we are not including in our calculation. And it turned out to be true. Like when I add the numbers up, that was the only way they were getting to it. Like there was no other way. There was literally no other way. Cause I'm like, I don't care what they're like. I was at the point with leaders. I was like, I don't care what this other team, in disclosure, I didn't say this to the leaders, but this is where I was. I was like, I don't care what that other report says. It's not how we're doing. And I keep saying this because we do this as a business and a company. We name metrics. So metrics are measurements of performance. Think of them, some of them are like KPIs, but we do consider not every metric is a KPI, but a KPI can be a metric. It's just a measurement of like performance that we have for employees. Like let's say, for example, you work at Amazon and I want to see deliveries per hour. I may be calculating it looking at how many deliveries the employee made divided by the hours they worked for that day. And I may also throw in a calculation, or throw into the calculation I could do like I could do deliveries per 40 or per whatever. Like if the employee works a 40-hour work week, or if they're part-time, a 32-hour work week, like I could do a deliveries per 40 versus how many hours they actually worked, it could be different. So I could name my metric deliveries per hour, but actually be calculating it based on a 40-hour work week, where someone else could have a metric also called deliveries per hour and take the deliveries that person did and divide it by how many hours they actually worked that week. Just because you're scheduled to work 40 hours a week doesn't mean you actually worked 40 hours a week. So we are presenting on our dashboards the same metric, and behind the scenes we're calculating it differently. This is what businesses do, and it's confusing as hell to everyone unless you're on the back end, or unless you are fully disclosing and have a definitions page that explains how these metrics are being calculated, right? But Caveat to that, not everybody updates their definitions page or show the correct calculations. And that is the problem. That's also a problem. So here we are. I checked their definitions page. The definition is listed to be exactly the same as ours, but it is not calculating the same way as our metrics. So, and it has the exact same name. So everyone's assuming that because they are named the same and the calculation appears to be the same, that the results should be the same. And in actuality, that is not the case. Their metric is calculating differently. It has something extra that's not shown on the dashboard and not listed in the definitions that is being included that we are not. So what is happening is that sales employees are comparing the performance on that dashboard to our dashboard. Our results are lower. The results on this other dashboard are higher. And because it's higher sales, which would mean higher compensation, of course, you want to get paid more for these sales, right? But they're including sales that you're not supposed to be getting paid for. So our report is right for what we are using it for. Their report is right for their purposes. So it's just a matter of we need to explain, or it needs to display correctly what's being included, and so people don't think these are blanket the same. Okay, I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but I feel better, at least about this for today, because it's been months. People on my team are like, you were right. Because I keep going on a tangent about it, you guys. I'm like, anytime anyone said anything, I'm like, this is what I believe. I'm like, I don't have their code, so I can't prove it. This is just me doing my own little code in math behind the scenes. No way can prove it. And I'm not saying their report is wrong, because there may be a reason why they are including it and we are not. I just don't know what that is. I feel like I can log off for the day. Like, I feel like I'm good. I truly do. Even though I got more code I need to develop, I feel like I'm good. Like, today has been a good day, you know? Not a good day. It started off rough, y'all. I'm not forgetting that. It started off rough. But you win some, you lose some. This was a win. A win is a win. Sir,